Mary had a little lamb.
Fourth, we believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Well, I think on New Year's Day, a good place to start is let's look at what folks were saying last New Year's, at the beginning of this year. You had most financial outlets and many economists assuring us that a recession was inevitable and that the unemployment rate would have to rise many points in order to get inflation down. Go back a year and a half and the price of gas was north of $5 a gallon. Today, as I sit and talk to you on New Year's Eve day, there is no recession. Unemployment has been below 4% for 22 months in a row. Price of gas this morning was $3.11 on average across the nation and below $3 a gallon in 28 states. Now, this combination of lowering inflation, and inflation is on a solid glide path back to its pre-pandemic rate. This combination of tight labor markets and easing prices has led to real wage gains. On a yearly basis, wages for mid-level workers have been beating prices for 9 months in a row. That's a trend, Mike, not a blip. Now, you reasonably ask, why isn't that reaching more Americans? Well, if we look at our two most closely watched measures of consumer sentiment, consumer confidence, they both rose big time in December. One was up 10%, the other a whopping 14%. Now, that's 1 month. That's not yet a trend. But it's certainly suggestive that the measures that this president is taking to help provide support and relief to families like the one he grew up in are working, and that people are starting to feel it.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside. Come inside. See the Gypsy Queen in her glaze of Vaseline will perform the guillotine. What a scene, what a scene. I don't know. It's been playing in my head. Welcome back, everybody. It's unbelievable. So now that the economy is starting to be noticed and felt by every damn body, including the bottom 25% of this country, who are doing better now than they've ever done before, all of a sudden, this is Trump's economy. You understand that? I mean, this bait and switch, this pull the rug out from underneath you, this, deny, and then, take credit for when good. This is so. Here's my wish for us as a, how Donald Trump pointed out the United States abbreviated is us. God, he's a genius. What a genius. So here's what I wish for us, as in the Donald Trump us. Okay, I hope we have a happy 2024, because if we have a happy 2024, that means that Trump was not elected in this particular year, nor did he manage to seize power by any other means. And you do have crazy people running around this country saying things like by any means necessary for various, various causes that they're into now. So, the rule of law must prevail. And so I really do hope that for us, we have a happy 2024, because this is the first year in a long time that holds the promise of being a great, great year since, I will say, 2020. But you have to remember that in 2020, while Trump was defeated, while Trump lost, we had a massive freaking pandemic, right? So hopefully 2024, we can have a better payoff. We cannot have a communicable pandemic, a disease, spewing around the country. We're free to travel, we're free to go, we're free to be, and Trump still loses. That would be a good year for me. That would be like the best freaking year that we just, because 2020, we did dodge a dictatorship, but we all had, a killer pandemic to deal with. So this would be better. Now, while we do have vaccines for COVID, we don't have one for him yet. That would be even better. I hope Vivek, you're going to forget his name real soon, because Donald Trump is being, how do I say it? They're determining whether or not Donald Trump can be on ballots across this here country in all the different states, because as I've explained to you thousands of times, we have 50 states, which means 50 different elections, right? States are the runners. I don't know what else to say. They are the runners of elections. Each state chooses the manner in which we select the electors. That's going to be very important if we don't defeat the dictatorship in this particular year. Why? Because if the states are allowed to choose the manner in which we select the electors, which they are by virtue of our federal constitution, which gives the states the right to choose the manner, they can say, the manner we're choosing is no elections. They can. They can actually do that. So, now you have states deciding whether or not Donald Trump has met the constitutional threshold of qualified people to be on various ballots. Now, for instance, the primary ballot. Primary ballot is it's a different situation, not in the way the elections are run, but in who's doing the choosing, as you know, okay? So in a primary scenario, you have the party itself, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in each of their separate primaries. Some have open primaries. See, states are all different, right? You know that. Some have closed primaries, like where I live here in Florida. Open carry, everybody. Be very careful what you, spew to other people now. Everybody's packing. But we still have closed primaries. Open carry, closed primary. So unless you're a Democrat, you can't vote in the Democratic primary, and unless you're a Republican, you can't vote in the Republican primary. Hence, closed. Okay. Other places have open primaries where anybody can vote in any primary for any candidate they would like to see win that particular party's nomination. Okay, so you understand that it is a nomination for the party that is the goal of having a primary. However, in a federal election, you've already chosen your standard bearer for your party. And it doesn't matter what party it is. It could be the Independent Party. It could be the Green Party. It could be, the Mountain Party. Make something up and qualify to be on the ballot by meeting that state's qualifications and the federal qualifications, which are few and far between. But the few qualifications that we do have, that we do require in this here country is, if you want to be on the presidential ballot, not the primary, but the actual general election presidential ballot, you have to be at least 35 years old, a naturalized U.S. citizen, and not have participated in nor given aid and comfort to anybody who had participated in an insurrection. Now, I find it very fascinating that Colorado has a different law, of course, because they're a state, and they have decided that Donald Trump can't even be on the primary ballot because they have qualifications to be on the primary ballot, which is different and separate from other states. So Colorado has said Donald Trump can't be on the primary ballot, whereas Maine hasn't said that. And Michigan hasn't, and Minnesota hasn't, and Arizona hasn't. You see what I mean? Each state is now weighing in on whether or not this candidate has met the qualifications for primary ballots and general election ballots. Now, while it's difficult to actually tell you about all the 50 states and all the different rules and all the different laws that are in place in all 50 states, because they're all different, even with regard to the primary, states themselves can make that choice. And when a state makes a choice that goes against MAGA, that court's life, the people that sit upon that court, their lives are threatened. God bless America. This is why, welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Soon the Gypsy Queen in a glaze of Vaseline will perform the guillotine. What a scene, is playing in my head. Because we're about to enter Bizarro World. And it is my job to keep all the bizarreness straight for you. Straight as I can get it. So, Colorado has kicked Donald Trump off the primary ballot, okay? Maine has kicked him off the presidential ballot, but that's just the Secretary of State, and that's just her initial, opinion. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.